chapter 1, and I'm reading from the NASB. The elder to the beloved Gaius, whom I love in truth. Beloved, I pray that in all respects you may prosper and be in good health, just as your soul prospers. For I was overjoyed when brothers came and testified to your truth, that is, how you are walking in truth. I have no greater joy than this, to hear of my children walking in the truth. Beloved, you are acting faithfully in whatever you accomplish for the brothers and sisters, and especially when they are strangers, and they have testified to your love before the church. You will do well to send them on their way in a manner worthy of God, for they went out for the sake of the name, accepting nothing from the Gentiles. Therefore, we ought to support such people, so that they may prove to be fellow workers with the truth. I wrote something to the church, but Diotrephes, who loves to be first among them, does not accept what we say. For this reason, if I come, I will call attention to his deeds, which he does, unjustly accusing us with malicious words. And not satisfied with this, he himself does not receive the brothers either, and he forbids those who want to do so, and puts them out of the church. Beloved, do not imitate what is evil, but what is good. The one who does what is good is of God. The one who does what is evil has not seen God. Demetrius has received a good testimony from everyone, and from the truth itself, and we testify too, and you know that our testimony is true. I had many things to write to you, but I do not want to write to you with pen and ink, but I hope to see you shortly, and we will speak face to face. Peace be to you. The friends greets you. Greet the friends by the name. Thanks.
Are we right? We're on. We're going. Excellent. We'll talk about home, where we host visitors today. I was in Wellington last weekend. Spent the week with that beforehand with David, Olivia, Caleb, Seth, Amos. We went and saw the exhibit at Te Papa, The Scale of War. Remembering the World War One and Gallipoli in particular. And I didn't think of it at the time, but sitting here this morning and being reminded, thank you, Khan, about all of the stuff to do with Anzac, I remembered reading this when we were there. And if this doesn't say hospitality, I don't know what does. This was written by Mustafa Ataturk, who was the commander of the Turkish army. He was also the first president of the Republic of Turkey. He wrote this: to the Anzacs, those heroes that shed their blood and lost their lives, you are now lying in the soil of a friendly country. Therefore, rest in peace. There is no difference between the Johnnies and the Mehmets. To us, they all, where they lie side by side, here in this country of ours. You, the mothers who sent their sons from faraway countries, wipe away your tears. Your sons are now lying in our bosom and are at peace. Having lost their lives in this land, they have become our sons as well. The Turkish army lost considerably more than the Anzacs, than the Allied forces, considerably more defending their home. They were the ones who were attacked. They were the ones who had their home invaded. And if they can extend the peace, if they can extend the welcome, if they can extend the hospitality, how much more so should we? How much more so should we? I'm going to move on the reading. Thank you, Dion. 3 John. It's twice in a week, David. We've did a whole book on Wednesday. We're doing a whole book again today. Tale of two men, Gaius and Diotrephes. When I was at Bible college, we went through this as part of the Johannine literature and everything, and we spent our time trying to figure out when he says walking in truth, what does it mean, and who is this guy Diotrephes, and what's his position and role in the church, and all of these other peripheral, and who's the elder, and all these other peripheral things. And there's a whole lot of things that we don't know. We infer from other things that are written. We can guess from history, we think, and we spend a lot of time doing that. But here's one thing that we do know from this book. The evidence of good and evil, knowing God or not, is revealed by hospitality. It is revealed by the hospitality that is shown. You can sit there and argue and then what you like about what people believe and what they don't believe, about what their actions should or shouldn't be. But what is revealed in this very short letter is that the test that actually comes true, that which shines through and says, am I part of this family or not, is revealed in the hospitality or lack of it. Gaius welcomed those who came. Gaius was there and he accepted the people that came there and he put them up. And the elder John says, hey, you will do well if you send them on their way basically worthy of the journey in which they're on. It's a custom of their time, a custom of their thing. Not only when you received somebody in, but when they left, you made sure that there were provisions. You made sure that they were provided for. Did they have everything they were going to need for their journey that went on? That was part of the hospitality that you showed. And he says, you'll do well if you do that. That's part of hospitality. Let's make sure that that's a part of who you are. Diotrephes, on the other hand, he sits there and says, I'm not happy with these people. I don't welcome them. And I tell other people, don't welcome them. And I tell other people, if you do welcome them, you're not welcome here. And it becomes a very divisive thing. It becomes a thing that separates people. When Jesus died to unite people, Diotrephes is there to try and separate people, pull them apart. Hospitality is about uniting people, bringing people together. The same thing is true. You sit there and Jesus in Matthew 10, verses 11 through 14 in particular, but the whole section there, Jesus is sending the 12 out. He says, don't take 2 tunics, don't take extra gold, don't take any of these extra things. Go and find somebody who is worthy in the town. And if they're worthy, stay with them. Bless them and give them the message which I'm giving to you. And then, when you leave your peace with them. Blessing of peace upon that household, upon that family, and leave with them. If you go into a household and they don't receive you, shake the dust from your shoes. I have nothing to do with them, and leave. And again, Jesus is showing this is the litmus test. This is the example of what it means to be part of the family. Do we accept people into our home? And I'm talking about the church. Do we accept people here into the church? And do we accept people individually into your home? Into your home. About how that is and about what we do, because that becomes a test that we'll see right throughout Scripture, right throughout the ages. Becomes a test to sit there and see, Who is righteous? No, make no mistake, it's not the only test, but it is. And it keeps on coming up again and again and again, right throughout Scripture, all the way through Scripture. Because if we go back, Hebrews 13, verses 1 and 2 reminds us of that. Let brotherly love continue. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers, for thereby some have entertained angels unawares. And we're referring to Abraham and Sarah. Angels come and everything, and they don't know they're angels. They don't know that they're there. They come with a message, and Abraham welcomes them. He prepares food for them. He prepares a place for them to stay. He is hospitable to them. So we're talking all the way back to Abraham, who is the father of the faithful, and he showed hospitality. And the Hebrew writer is reminding us that that is something that we should be. He connects it with brotherly love. Let brotherly love continue. Let it continue. Interesting thing about hospitality. Hospitality is a word. The Greek word is xenos or xenophilia, the love of strangers. Quite literally, you see here hospitality to strangers. It's talking about, and it was initially, especially for strangers. And we have words that we associate with hospitality, and we just think about those and understand what this meaning is. You go to hospital. What happens? I'm in need. I go to hospital. There are people there who will take care of me and restore my health. Is what's supposed to happen anyway. And you go there and that. You go to a hostel. You go and stay at a hostel. I'm a stranger. I come in. They provide a bed for the night, a place for me to be, shelter. And then I carry on going on my journey. There are a hospice at that end of life care. Strangers come in and they're there and they're taken care of and they're looked after. It's those places where you get the idea that hospitality is about people coming in to a space where you are and you're taking care of them. You're looking out for them. You're looking after them. You're seeing their needs and you are counting to their needs. When Jesus sent out the 12 to go out into those things, they didn't take extra money. They didn't take extra clothing. They were looking for someone who was welcoming, who was receptive. Who's hospitable. Hey, can I do my laundry? Because quite frankly, I've only got one cloak. Yeah, you can do your laundry here. No, I don't have extra food. Will you feed me? Yes, we will feed you. I don't have a lot of money. Will you? I don't have much to pay. That's okay. You're fine. You're here. Hospitality is about peace and about giving peace. In a world where we don't know what's next, in a world where we don't know the places we walk into, will they be receptive or won't they be receptive? Hospitality is about saying, here, you are welcome in a place that is receptive to you, acceptive of you. I want you to also notice another key verse, 1 Peter 4, 8 through 10. Above all, keep loving one another earnestly, since love covers a multitude of sins. Show hospitality to one another without grumbling, as each has received a gift, so serve one another as good stewards of God's varied grace. First thing that stands out to me in these two verses is that hospitality is used, but it comes under the preference of loving one another. The first one's specifically about strangers, but this one is specifically about each other. Loving one another. Do I open my home for you guys? Do you open your home for other people? It is potentially, depending on who you are and your style, it is either the most natural thing to do or potentially the most scary thing to do. Because your home is your sanctuary. Your home is the place that you hold dear. Your home is the place that says, this is mine. This is where I am. This reflects the true who I am. This is the things that I can control. And the world out there is quite a dangerous place. And the world out there doesn't know how to take care of the things that I value and that I hold precious. And we can have that, and that can be our home, and that's fine. And that's a wonderful thing to be able to sit there and have this as a place that is something that is special and that is precious. Again, we're down in Wellington, and we're going into some of the old churches that are down in Wellington, Old St. Paul. Susan and I went into St. Peter's Church that are there and everything. Those places are amazing inside. The architecture, the stained glass windows. I think it was Leon who said to me once, talking about the Catholic churches and why they build these magnificent churches, the absolutely fantastic architecture with such beauty inside and around it and everything. They said because they'll go in there and they say, this is how much we value God. This is the place where we come and we value God, but it's also a place where we all come together and we all experience that together, and we value that together. And say, this is what God has, this is who God is to us. In our homes, we can do the same thing. We can sit there and recognize the value of what God has given us, but then come and share that with others and say, look what God has for us. Look what He has provided for us. Where are we? 1 Timothy. I just want to talk. Paul writes this to Timothy. 1 Timothy chapter 6. Starting in verse 17. And in the big scheme of things, he's talking to us. As for the rich in this present age, charge them to not be haughty or set their hopes on uncertain riches, but on God, who richly provides us with everything to enjoy. Here's God. Trust in God, not in the riches. And God has given you, God has blessed you with lots of things. What for? To enjoy them. Feel free to enjoy the blessings that God brings into your life. Don't trust in them, but enjoy them. But He's not finished there. The reason you've got them, he says, verse 18, are to do good and to be rich in good works, to be generous and ready to share, thus storing up treasure for themselves for a good foundation for the future, so that they may take hold of that which is truly life. You have things. God has blessed you with things. God has brought things into your life and said, here you are. That's fantastic. Enjoy those things. But in enjoying those things, remember to do good with them. This is your superpower. You see, superpower is you have things that you have, you're able to do good things with those things. Not just hold them to yourself, not just keep them to yourself, but do good things with them. To be rich in good works, to be generous. With having people come into your home, that's the reality. I have to be generous with what I have, to share that with others. There's a generosity that overflows. Be ready to share. Going way back to my really early days, we were at Bible class and everything, and we were kids at doing Bible class in Napier, and so my younger sister Deborah, she was in Mrs. Bing's class. Susan's laughing over here. Mrs. Bing, some of you know Judith Bing. She's still there down in Napier, her and Barry. Anyway, so she was in Mrs. Bing's class, and she would come home, and she's the youngest in the family and everything. There's my older sister Diana, there's me, and then there's Deborah. And whenever she wasn't getting her way or wasn't getting what she would be doing, she would come up with the saying, and she would look at us and says, "But Mrs. Bing says share." You know, and it became the saying within our family. Mrs. Bing says share. In fact, it's extended beyond that, and others know it too. But the point is that the things that we have, God has blessed us with to share with others. And so being hospitable is a way of sharing that which we have. The blessings that God has given us to enjoy And we should enjoy those things. Let's not make a mistake about that. Don't feel bad about having them. Enjoy them, but share. Be generous and share at the same time. Questioning, because he says you don't trust in those things. The things that you have, do you have them or do they have you? The things that you have, do you have them or do they have you? Do you determine their use or do they impose their value upon you that says, this is too precious to share. I have to be careful with how I do with this. I have to hold this back. I can't share this because it has me. This is what God is calling us to. God is blessing us with many things, but they are there for us to have. And we have them. They should not have us. They should not be in control of us. We are in control of them. Some of you might be sitting here saying, good on you, rich people, got plenty to share, well done, fantastic. I don't. In 1 Kings, Elijah out there and he's in a valley, he's being fed by ravens, and God says, hey, I want you to go to this city called Zarephath. And there you will encounter a widow. Ask her for something to eat. So he goes and he encounters the widow and says, will you give me something to eat? And she says, you know what? I have enough flour and enough oil at home to make one last meal for me and my son, and that's it. Then we are going to die. And the great prophet says, oh, really? Wow. Sorry about that. Okay, I'll go ask somebody else. No, the great prophet didn't say that. He said, oh, really? I'll tell you what, you go home first and you make one for me and then you make one for yourself. Because I'm telling you, there's going to be plenty. And the woman who had only enough to feed her and her son one last time went and made bread for the prophet. And the flour didn't run out, and the oil didn't run out. And she survived and she lived and she was blessed beyond measure because she was hospitable. She opened up the meager that she had and said, I will give even the last. Because that's what we do. We share with what we have. We don't grumble. Like he says in 1 Peter, show hospitality to one another without grumbling. Now we can do that. We can sit there and open up my home, but I really, I wish they would. When are they leaving? How long are they going to be here for? Do they have to use my best china like that? Or, unbelievable. They just put the plates in the sink. They could have just put them in the dishwasher. Everything is, no, let's not be those people. Let's recognize that there is a blessing that is taking place. There's opportunity that's taking place. This is about uniting people, about connecting us. It's about connecting us. So hosts, recognize the blessing that is, recognize what God has blessed you with, and He's provided opportunity to bless others with it. How has God welcomed you? How has God been hospitable to you? Did God open up His family for you? Did God open up His house for you? When did He show you love? Was that when you loved Him? When did He forgive you? Was that when? when Christ died on the cross? When did He provide a safe place for you? When you were able to reciprocate and give in return? When you were able to give other things to somebody else? No, He provides those things for us. God has been hospitable to me. God has been hospitable to you. To host, love people when they come. Give them a welcome. Make sure this is a place that the doors are open, that they feel like they're welcome, that they can actually be here. You want them there. You ever been in a place that you walked in the door and you're not really sure that you want it, or basically, this is not the place where I should be? Let that not be our homes. Let that not be our house. This is a safe place. So you're creating a safe place for them to be, a place where they can be at rest, a place where they can lay their head down and sleep and know that they are safe. That's very much a characteristic of Jewish times and Jewish things. You were welcomed into a home, you were there in the home, you were under their protection. Give them the safety. Give them a bed. Provide food. Whatever it is you have, whether it's a great feast or the last morsel. Whether it's not even knowing what you have, but going to the fridge and seeing what's there. A story, true story from back in again, my days in Napier. So one of the men in the church had received and welcomed some international guests, and they had arrived, and he says, "I'll take you back to my place and we'll have lunch." So he went back to his place, and they went down to have lunch, and they opened up the fridge to see what was there, and found some, we got the bread out, and we'll have sandwiches. We'll make sandwiches, and found some luncheon and chopped up some luncheon, and found some salad and put that in together and everything, and they made sandwiches and they ate, and they were welcomed and they were fed and they were loved, and they went on their way. That evening, the wife comes home. And she hears all about the wonderful story about these visitors that have come and everything. That's fine, that's fantastic. She goes to the fridge, she opens the fridge and says, "Where's the dog food?" Apologies to all us males here who are actually quite fantastic cooks and know what the difference between those things are, but some of us are just a little bit thick when knowing these things. Whatever it is, but you know what? Doesn't matter. It was gratefully received. Nobody died. Nobody got sick because of it. But it's about their attitude of saying, I want to open up and provide. I want to open up and provide shelter. We had cyclones that came through. Alexander was telling me after Mike and Sue's 50th, and then we had the announcement and then thing, and people putting up signs saying, hey, if you get caught out in the cyclone and you need help, this is who to call, and we'll come and open up the building and provide you a safe place to be at this time. We offer that to our community. That's who we are. We offer that to our community when they walk in through our doors and they become part of who we are and connect with us. We provide a safe place for people to be. They feel welcome. We've been going through this whole thing and talking about, our identity and recognizing the things that we do well, and we do this well. We do this well. When people walk through our doors, we welcome them. We make them feel accepted. Tell them, there's a cup of coffee. This is the thing. We talk to them. We share with them. We are hospitable people. Let's make that part of who we are. If you're receiving hospitality, be grateful for whatever you receive, even if it is unknowingly dog food. Be grateful for whatever you receive. You don't know the situation of the people truly that are coming through, that have welcomed you in. I remember somebody once who was telling me a story about going away on a school trip one time, and they got billeted out, as you do on school trips. You go for their sports events, and they got billeted out, and she said, I was at this place that was an absolute dive. It was dirty, It was terrible, she said. And she said, I really didn't know what to do. I didn't want to put my feet on the floor. It was just, I felt horrible. She said, but when I left, the host family thanked me because they said they had been one of the most wonderful guests that they'd ever had in their home. You don't know what it is. You don't know what the people have been through. You don't know where it is that they have experienced in life. But being respectful of the people that are putting you up is not a hard thing to do. It's an easy thing to do. Recognize that this is the Spirit of God at work, because this is one of those things that defines the Spirit of God at work in His people. Seek opportunities to bless your host. How can I bless these people for the blessing that they have given me? These are the things of hospitality. These are the things that we work towards. These are the things that we are. This is who we are. May it always be so. Let's pray. Lord, we come before you as your children who have received all from you. You have given to us what all the things that we need. You have provided for us. You've given us the home. You've given us the possessions. You've given us food in our fridges and in our stomachs. You have given us access to so much. Father, may we seek those who are in need, who are out there, who have those needs. Father, may we open up our doors to them, whether that's the church, whether that's our homes, wherever it is, Father, whatever it is, may we seek to bless people and unite with people. May we be people who are welcoming. May we be people who are hospitable. Bless us as we seek to emulate you in all that we are through this week. And through Jesus we pray. Amen.